Hello, thank you for tuning into this week's section of reads. You should be seeing this on the YouTube channel James 13 Wicca, in case you're seeing it somewhere else. Also, the dice and the cards I'm using, they're going to be listed below. Other than that, let's go ahead and move ahead. If you would like a reading from me, of course, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. Thanks again for tuning in, and let's go ahead and get into yours. Hello, Virgo. Thank you very much for tuning in to this week's read. These readings are valid for whenever you come to them. That being said, what do we have for Virgo? Well, why are we angled out that way? We're going out that way. Now there's two over here. There's one up there. Have we put out enough of the deck? There's like a lot of it out here. That's it. Okay. So, whatever the situation is, it's something you feel like you have to be a part of. Could easily be family, could be friends, could be a work situation. Something where it's kind of like, I gotta be a part of this. I just don't feel like there's a realistic way to get away from it. Sometimes with family obligations or even certain friend groups, there's certain aspects to a friend group. Work, I feel like work it very easily could connect to work very, very easily, where this is how I make a living, and there's just certain things I just got to deal with, and that's just how it is. And whatever's been going on, when it gets a little bit too much, when it gets a little bit too much, sooner or later you have to prioritize yourself. So for some of you, I feel like you already do this, where you kind of step back. You don't want to step back, but you do step back. You just take some time for yourself. Others of you, you technically take time for yourself, but you probably are like feeling under the weather or something happens to kind of force you to take time for yourself. It reminds me of, like, for a while, for many years, I would get sick in December. It was like clockwork. Every December I would get sick. Until I changed how I was relating to certain things. And then I wasn't getting sick as much. And I was like, this is interesting. Because it's almost like my social battery was getting very run down. And then I would get sick. But then when I changed certain behaviors and I stopped participating in certain things that I didn't want to be a part of, I noticed that started to change. And I don't get sick in December like I used to. It's very interesting to me. So hopefully those of you that needs to, that's kind of resonating the way it needs to, kind of like either saying that, like, when you take those moments for yourself, it's very, very good. You should do that. That's what your body needs. That's what you need. That's very smart. For those of you who are not, you're probably looking back going, yep, I guess that's why I keep getting sick at certain times of year or certain points. And it's not a bad thing, because I feel like most of us kind of do that. I'm not a Virgo, but still, I feel like they're saying if you're noticing the pattern, like, make peace with it and prioritize yourself in your self-care above other people for a little while every now and then. Especially if you're one of those people where you think to yourself, oh, I could always be doing for somebody else, or they need it more than I need it, especially if you're one of those people. Because I feel like going into this next section here, they want you to have a better aspect of what's about to happen, because they're saying if you prioritize yourself and you make sure you have time for yourself where you can step away. And for some people, it's just stepping away and just maybe watching your favorite show by yourself or with certain people, or I used to be a person, I know other people that did it too. If work gets to be too much, just going somewhere on lunch, just driving somewhere. I would sit in the parking lot of some stores once in a while just because I had to get away from people, and I just needed to get away from people. Whether I had food with me or not, I didn't really care. I just needed a moment just to be away from people. That could be something that works for you too. It's prioritizing yourself where you feel like you can do it, to where you can get your energy under control and feel like you're having a moment of peace. For some of you, like getting away on lunch may work. For others of you, it won't be enough. I don't know who this is going to fit for. Maybe a few of you, I should say. Forcing yourself to go to bed a couple hours early and then getting up earlier might work too. Because everything could be secure and taken care of when you go to bed. And then when you get up a couple hours early, nobody else is going to be up. And you can enjoy time to yourself without other people interrupting you. Especially if you have kids and there's another person there who helps you balance that. Like maybe they don't want to go to bed 2 hours early, but they're okay if you do. They can finish up things and do what they need to do, and then you get up earlier, you have a couple hours to yourself, and then you start the process a little, like maybe you'll trade it off that way. I don't know. I feel like you can find a way to do it. I recommend a couple hours if it's doable. Because something's coming in. I don't know if it's bad or good, I gotta be honest with you. Other people may not be happy with it, but you might already kind of have an inkling that something's about to change. I don't know if it's so much psychic as kind of like looking at a situation going, well, there's no way that's going to go on forever. You may have one of those kind of like, well, if you look at it logically, that's not going to work forever. Sooner or later, that's going to have to change. I don't know when, but sooner or later it will. So there's a change coming, because I don't see you surprised with this change. I see it more of a kind of like, well, sooner or later, yeah, obviously that's going to have to happen. You might, if you're more of a psychic person, you might be catching it that way. Virgos tend to be more in the, like, if I need to tangibly see it on paper, people, usually, not always. Then I feel like this is one of those things where, yeah. You are making the most of the situation currently for whatever it is anyway. I feel like you're already planning in the sense of like, I know that's going to happen at some point, so I already know how I plan to handle it. I feel like I have a rough outline of how I plan to handle it. What is this for Virgo? I know this is a good card for you, but it can be can have a bit of a contrast for Virgo. It's not happening right away. And I feel like you're very honest with yourself. Like, there's no way I can plan for all the different ways this could play out. But if I have a general idea, a general feeling about what I want to do, I feel like that at least gives me something to work with, something to plan for. It's kind of like knowing, like, so sooner or later, grandma's going to have to move out of her house, or something's going to happen there. It's kind of like, I don't know how that's going to happen. I hope it's peacefully. But it's kind of like, I have an idea about how I'm going to help or who I'm going to work with, or when things start, like, I know I'm keeping in contact with her. I'm keeping in contact with people around her too. So it seems okay right now, but at some point things will change. So, and I have a kind of an idea of like how we're going to handle that. I don't know for sure, but I have a kind of idea. I would like to have it more set in stone, and I don't like that it's not more structured, but there may be other people you're working with at this point, and it's kind of like, even if they agreed to something, I'm using this for a reason, agreed to something, fully well aware, if you're fully well aware that could change anyway. Even if they agree to something, they agreed to it today, tomorrow might be a whole different thing, whole different ball game. Okay, you're doing well at this point. I feel like they're bringing back remember to prioritize yourself, your needs, your physical needs, your emotional needs. It's not selfish to take care of yourself. It's not. Like, you're going to take care of other people anyway, but including yourself in that is not selfish. That is not selfish. So like if you're a cook and you're feeding everybody else, feeding yourself along with it and asking people to help you clean up the mess and help prepare it, that is not selfish. That is fair. That is fair. Taking care of yourself and asking for yourself to be taken care of just as much as everybody else is, that's fair. Like, you know, it's not like you're asking for something unrealistic here. What is this? This is weird. All right, so this is a factor around you. I don't know what to think of it. I mean, it's a general read, so I can't say if it's good or bad. It's just odd. Four of Wands, like this. And then your card, the Hermit card, the same way. Which is telling me, I don't know if I can depend on this energy. It seems like sometimes it does what I expect it to. Other times it does the left field thing. I never know which way it's going to go. Something here just feels very unbalanced with this energy. This is a person, I think. And it's an energy that tries to be helpful, but seems to be... It tries to stick to, like, the plan, but it also can be very random. What am I supposed to tell you about this, though? This energy may or may not help you down the road. I would not plan for it. I would just... I wouldn't plan for it helping you, but I would allow for it, like, in case it does, to be ready for it. Hopefully it goes your way, but I would not plan for it, because there's something about this energy that's very random. Maybe in the past it has supported you correctly, and maybe it will again in the future, but there's something here that's unstable. I don't, like, it's a general read, so I have no idea who this is talking about in your life if it's hitting. There could be some type of substance addiction or something going on there, or something where they're ill, or something where they just can't do what they normally do. Something might happen here that's not really expected, that may physically take it to a point where they can't do what they normally would do. And they might be more of a drain than a help. Keep that in mind. It's around the situation. Other people are going to be very upset with the situation, as if they're shocked that it actually happened. I'm going to use the grandma situation again. Like, you know, like, say she's in her 80s and she's living on her own, but you're like, all right, but in 20 years, it's not likely she's still going to be doing that. So if she's in her mid-80s, her being 105, still living on her own, probably is technically possible, but the odds of that happening, not the best. Not the best. There seems to be people here in this situation that we're not addressing the reality of this at all. At all. Because the Three of Swords coming in with the path forward is like, seems like whatever happens, when it happens, they're just trying to push it through, almost bully it through, just to get through it, just to get through it, just to get through it. Like, oh, if I just get it off my plate, it's not really happening. If I just eat it really fast, it's not really happening. I don't have to think about it if I can just get it off the plate. I can just move it on. I could just move it on. This might be, these two factors here might be one of the reasons this could be very draining for you. Because whatever's happening, a change is happening, but I feel like your energy is realistic. Like, yeah, this was going to happen. This was going to happen. It's not about who likes it or not. It was going to happen. A change was going to happen here. And you're ready to move forward in the sense of, like, it's time. We got to do what we got to do. It's just time. Virgos tend to be very realistic. It's not about liking it. It's about, this is what's in front of us. This is what we got to handle. Let's take care of it. Due to these two energies here that are really a little bit chaotic, even if they're normally stable, in this situation, I feel like they're chaotic. They're warning to be careful about trying to get along with people too much. It's going to drag it out a lot longer, and it's not gonna go well. It makes sense why you would want to get along, why you would want to maybe appease certain people. I'm getting that this isn't going to help you or anybody else. It could be notable. This could be a lot longer than it needs to, a lot longer than necessary. It reminds me of somebody like breaking a bone, and then waiting 3 days before they go to the doctor or hospital for it. It's kind of like you should have just kind of handled it in the beginning, because you're still going to have to deal with it, and it might hurt more then because the adrenaline is gone. So I'm not thinking that's your best idea. You can do what you want. I'm just saying it's dragging it out, and it's kind of like we're going to end up in the same spot anyway, and it's just going to be that much more traumatizing, dragging it out. Like, oh my God, I keep seeing this broken bone, and I'm like, I can't imagine just like hanging out with a broken bone for 3 days and going, oh, all right, I guess I do have to handle it. Like, I don't know. That's kind of the analogy they're giving me. Like, it's kind of like it has to be handled either way. Trying to be nice to people isn't going to change people getting upset either. It's not going to make it easier. It's still traumatic. They're still not going to like it. Another possibility is the High Priestess. When the High Priestess comes in, and don't get caught up in the gender, but it's basically saying, listen, some of this sucks. It's not all bad, though. But some of it definitely sucks. Let's just pull it together and get through it. Let's just do what we're supposed to do. Let's just handle it. Let's just move forward. It's not about people liking it. I keep getting that. I get that a lot lately. It's not about people liking it. It's about what needs to be handled and what we need to do to take care of it. Virgo is very dependable. If somebody is there, or if you're willing to do it and just do the one foot in front of the other, like every day we take a step forward, every day we take a step forward. You might be the one starting it. Somebody else might be. Keep that momentum going. You can help keep the tempo. And tempo is very important in this situation, because I do feel like a rhythm is very important, and I feel like you're also very good at that. Kind of like, all right, we're doing a step a day, a step a day, a step a day. Every day we get another step done. Every day we get another check mark on the list. Every day we take care of one more thing. Every day, one more check every day. And we're all working together to get that one check mark done every day. No more, no less. And I think it's very important to have that rhythm. We don't want to start running. It's kind of like if this is a marathon situation, we don't want to sprint every now and then just because we get frustrated. We stay at the right pace. We stay at the right pace, and I feel like you're very good at that. We do one check mark a day, no more, no less. People aren't going to like that. There's going to be issues. This is another reason where I keep feeling like you want to have that time to yourself. You want to step away from the situation. If it's a work situation, maybe planning some personal time or vacation time or whatever you need to do. Make sure you're not working a crazy amount of overtime if you don't have to. Step away and give yourself a breather and a break so you can get through this the best you can. Give yourself that dignity, you know what I mean? Because it does seem like this can go better. It seems like it's stressful either way. This block doesn't have to happen. Are we sure? This block doesn't have to happen. Somebody's going to be struggling with it. They're having a real hard time. The Lovers, the Lovers is upright. The Queen of Cups is like this. So there's going to be some people that they're not going to help. They're not going to help. This doesn't have to be a block. You don't have to wait for that. I would recommend, do I dare say that? A possibility, let's do it that way. You don't have to wait for them. And I feel like if they're not willing to help, they're not only slowing the process down, but they're not dealing with it either. It might be more of a denial thing, as if I don't acknowledge it, it's not really happening. If I don't help fix it, then it's not really a problem. It just drags it out. You have to do what you feel is right, clearly. So it's just a suggestion, possibility. It's just a possibility. You don't have to let this block happen. You can work around it. I do feel like this energy will catch up later. If you move past it, it will catch up later. It also gives you a chance to set the tone. If you move ahead, if you move around it and move ahead, I do feel like it'll catch up later, and it'll just continue the process that was already started. It will also work better if there's a tempo you've already set. They'll know what to expect. They'll get into the rhythm of it. They'll participate as they need to. I don't know how long, it's a general read, before they catch up, but they should catch up at some point. I do understand that there's a lot of stress with this situation. Whatever the situation is, make sure you look out for yourself. Make sure you look out for yourself and you let other people that know that you need something every now and then. Because I feel like this energy I'm feeling from Virgo is like I'm keeping everything together. I'm looking out for other people. Make sure you get looked out for too. Even if other people really aren't able to do it, look out for yourself. Create situations to where you can decompress and you can do what you need to do to keep your energy in a positive place, or as positive as realistically possible. It's the stress, but it's open your heart. Share with the people you feel you can how you're really feeling. It's not a competition. If somebody tries to make it a competition, see that for what it is and just disengage and just don't create an issue with that for yourself. If somebody tries to make it a competition, because we all have those people in our lives, don't we? No matter how bad you're feeling, oh my God, you tripped and broke your leg. I broke my whole face. You know, you sneezed. Well, I crapped my pants. Like, I'm like, really? Anything I do, you did it worse? Okay, great. You know, it doesn't need to be a competition. I would just disengage from that. I don't know what else to say about it. Because that's just going to drag this energy lower. It's going to make you feel invalidated. And it's not about you. It's about them having some type of weird competition in their head. I would just disengage from that best you can. There's been people where it's been in a group setting, and I was just like, whenever that person's around, I don't know if this is right or not, but like, I've been very careful not to bring up what I'm dealing with while they're around, because I know they're going to make it about them. There's just some certain people who do that, and they just have to take, if you're having a moment where you're venting or explaining the trouble you're going through and you need some help, and all of a sudden they just got to try to pull that energy towards them, they get very jealous of that energy, and they got to pull it, and they, oh, no, you got dizzy and sneezed and coughed. Well, I fell right off my step and, you know, fractured my knee. Anything you do, they're going to make it a competition, even if it makes them look worse. I don't know. I keep try not to engage in it. That's the best I got for that. I'm sorry. Of course, this will pass. If somebody's making I keep getting this competition thing. You don't have to deal with that. You don't even have to acknowledge it. Let other people handle that. That's too draining. You got too much going on. You are pretty resilient, but you're human too. Let's remember that. If they want to make it a competition, let them compete with themselves. Let them compete with other people if other people want to engage in that. That's their problem. Move on from it. Don't worry about not addressing it. Let other people help those who can help those. What does this say? Angels of healing are with you. It's going to be better for you if you just don't get involved in that. So, like, I'm going to use the whole grandma thing. Grandma, things changed in grandma's life. We have to deal with some changes. And maybe this cousin or this aunt or whoever, this sibling, maybe this parent, whoever, is, like, trying to make it all about them. Just don't engage with it. Work around it. Let other people handle that. And then don't feel bad about moving on from it. Just don't engage with it. That's the best I can keep getting. I just keep getting, like, just don't engage with it. Let other people deal with that and just move around it. Don't even get caught in that situation any more than you have to. This will pass. All right, I'm going to ask this because there's a good card here, but I'm like, this energy, it's irking me for a little. All right, so they're going to sink their own ship. I don't know what's going on, but sometimes, you know how they say, be careful what you wish for? They want to win that fight. They just might. You know what I mean? They want to win this poor me competition. Well, they just might. I don't know what that means because I got the Wheel of Fortune reversed for them. And I also got the Page of Fire reversed as well for them. I don't know what they're doing. That's another reason they're saying disengage from this. This situation's going to move on. You're meant to move on with it. If somebody else is having this weird competition with this situation, let them deal with their own stuff. Let other people help them if they have to. It's going to be a self-fulfilling prophecy is what I keep getting. Like, they want to win that competition. They just might. And, you know, it's all fun and games until you have to pay the price. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, you don't have to be a part of that. And I would keep avoiding it. I would just stay out of that because it just seems like it's a never-ending pit. So let it end with that. Whatever connection you have to have with the actual situation, like you're dealing with the grandma situation, just because it's an analogy, because this could be a work situation, whatever it is. If one of the other relatives has a problem because of what they're doing or whatever, you just secure your part, the part you signed up to deal with, and when that's done, let it go. Let it go. Be conveniently busy, or just keep your energy away from it as much as possible. Let other people take the lead on that. Just let it be. You don't have to get sucked down to that. If other people choose to, that's on them. That's on them. Are we good? All right. I'm going to shut this down here. Hope that helps. Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email. jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below. Same email. Thanks again for watching. Have a great day.